Well, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Mastermind. I'm Beth Caldwell, and I'm here with you this morning to share with you a few tips about life and business because as women, we really don't separate the two. Now, last week, I talked to you a little bit about telling the truth in your business. So here's what I have learned. When I keep seeing something over and over and over again, I know it's because I'm supposed to talk to you about it. So the past couple of weeks, I have seen a lot of episodes of telling the truth and not telling the truth and how people respond to them. And I'm not talking about really big things here. I'm not talking about larceny or, betrayal or tricking people or stealing their money. I'm talking about the superficial and everyday lives that we tell ourselves, lies that we tell ourselves and that we tell each other, and how that really can be keeping you from it's preventing you from having some awkward feelings, but it's also keeping you from having success breakthroughs. So let me give you a couple of examples. One of the things about me is I'm just a truth teller. It's just, people describe me as being blunt, being bold, being direct. It's my thing. I tell the truth. I don't hide things, and I like to deal with things. I like to deal with things directly. Okay. And so why, and I've experienced this not just in the past few weeks, but throughout my whole life, where I see that makes people uncomfortable, and that really puzzles me because I'm the type of person that's always looking for solutions, right? So I've studied this, and I've asked this question over and over again. And I even took a class called Why Do Men Lie? Men and women both lie, but that was the class that I took. And what I learned in that class is that we lie to ourselves and to each other so that we don't have to experience emotions. So we don't have to feel embarrassed or ashamed or icky, or we don't have to watch somebody else cry or feel whatever. Okay. But think about it. Sometimes these things that we're keeping from ourselves and from each other, what if we really did experience them? How awful would it be? So here's an example. You're my client, and I say to you, hey, Jane, how's it going with writing your website? How's that website creation coming? And Jane says to me, oh, Beth, I've been really busy. I've just been so busy. Oh, I have so many new clients, and my mother and my brother and my sister and my dog, and there's just too much going on. Well, I've been doing this for a while time. What else? Did you have any time to go on Facebook? Did you have any time to watch Netflix? Then there's a little bit of an awkward silence there, right? So what is it that's really, so yes, you're busy. We're all busy. What's really keeping you from working on that website? Well, the truth is, I feel very uncomfortable about putting myself out there. That wasn't so hard, was it? Here's what's amazing about our brains. When we admit what the truth is, and this is a great phrase for you to use, the truth is blank, okay? When we say what the truth is, I feel uncomfortable about putting myself out there in my business. Your brain is so amazing, it's going to immediately start solving that problem. Well, is it the technology that keeps you uncomfortable, or is it's just putting yourself out there? Okay, so let's figure it out. What do we have to do to take you to the next level? That is so freeing and so powerful. Okay, so there's one example of how we tell and don't tell the truth to ourselves and each other. Here's another example. When my dad was sick a couple of years ago, my dad had lung cancer, and eventually died from lung cancer. And it was a hard time for our family. My dad died way too young, and it was hard for all of us. And during that time, I was very blessed to have a great family. My brother and sister and I all chipped in with my family. I have a very flexible job. My brother and sister had very flexible employers too. We were blessed to be able to do that and to go through that experience with my parents. And people would sometimes run into me, and I told people the truth. My dad is really sick. I'm not taking on new clients right now. I'm not working on Mondays for a while because that's the day my dad goes to chemotherapy. I would tell people things like that, not getting too personal. But during that time, people would say to me, hey, Beth, how's your dad doing? And I would say something like this, depending on how the day was. I would say, he's doing awful. I mean, this was just awful. And people would respond like, I can't believe she just said that to me, you know? And I remember one particular time where my dad always had his chemotherapy meetings on his sessions on Mondays, and dad's were long. They were always 8 hours long. And so that day was just wiped out for me. If that was my turn, that was my day. I didn't see any clients. I didn't do anything else. One time it got moved to a Tuesday, and I had an evening event booked. And I told a few people, listen, I'm going to be a little bit late to this event. I'm still coming, but I'm going to be coming from my mom and dad's house. He has a treatment that day. So I get to the event. I've pulled myself together. We're going to do this. I always felt like that chemo was hard on me. And I wasn't even the one getting the chemo, but it was emotionally hard for me. It was hard for all of us. And so somebody said to me, how was your chemo? How was chemo today? And I said, it was horrible. It was awful. Chemotherapy is the worst thing, right? So looking back on that, probably that was a little bit too blunt of a response, right? But I will never forget the response that she did. She went, and then she just turned. She said nothing. She said nothing. I threw her off so much by telling the truth. But why don't we tell the truth? So I paid attention over the next several months as my dad continued to fight. He went into remission, which was an awesome time, and he did some great things and achieved some things that he had always wanted to do. And then he got sick again, and we went through that process all over again. So I got a lot of practice, and I noticed that when I would tell people the truth, how's your dad doing? Yeah, he's having a really bad day today. Sometimes he's having a really good day. But as we got towards the end, a lot of times it would be, you know, he's having a rough day today. Thank you for asking. It's been a rough day. It's been a rough week. And a lot of the times people would say to me, that is awful. I'm sorry that you and your family have to go through this. I wish your dad didn't have cancer. Cancer sucks. Half the time, people would respond like that. And then half the time, people would give that other response like, and turn away, not even say anything. Or they would say, oh. So pay attention. So pay attention to how you tell the truth, how you hear the truth, and let's all be a little bit more honest with each other and clear the air. Because when what happens is when you say, my dad is really awful, or I am really awful, I'm really struggling, and a person turns from you and walks away, what they're saying is, I can't really handle that. So pay attention if that's where you are at your personal development. And then you can practice that. And the reason why you're uncomfortable is because you don't know what to say. There's nothing wrong with saying, that's awful. That's horrible. I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. Okay? So pay attention, because when we begin to face the truth and when we begin to respond to the truth, we can then work together to just make everything better. So pay attention to how you're telling the truth and how we're not telling the truth, because we're all works in progress and we all have to improve. And let me know if this was helpful to you. I'm Beth Caldwell, and this is Monday Morning Mastermind for women who want to be successful in life and business. I'll see you next week.